We're going to talk about a title that is not, hasn't been announced yet. We have no idea what exactly to expect here, if this is even something that is in the pipeline. But it's something that I personally am interested in talking to you guys about. And so this next segment of the show, we're going to be talking about Gears Tactics. Gears Tactics is a title that I thought was pretty cool. I thought it was, for what it was, I thought Gears Tactics was pretty cool. A lot of people compared it to XCOM, and I think rightfully so. I think it was definitely an interesting addition to the Gears of War ecosystem of games and things of that nature. Now, personally, I would prefer the Coalition to be working solely on Gears 6 and maybe have a different development team working on, a Gears Tactics 2, which is what we're going to be talking about here. But I really want the Coalition to be all hands on deck with Gears of War 6. And with the Gears of War collection, even though we don't know if that's something that is going to be coming, I would prefer a different development team working on that altogether, like People Can Fly or some, a team like that who's worked on Gears of War before. And doing a remaster of Gears 1, 2, 3, and Gears Judgment, I think could definitely do the Gears of War collection. So Gears Tactics, I think could be a really interesting one, as long as, and I'm saying this, I would be totally down for a new Gears Tactics or a sequel, as long as it's not the Coalition working on it. As long as the Coalition can stay all hands on deck on Gears 6, I'm cool with it. But with that, guys, I want to talk about something here that is coming to us from Game Rant, an article from Jonathan Ammerman. And the article goes like this: multiple Gears of War games in development for next gen using Unreal Engine 5. The Coalition shares a blog post with its fans revealing that multiple next-gen Gears of War titles are in the works using Unreal Engine 5. And right there, guys, that can tell you pretty much all that you need to know, that there are multiple Gears of War titles in the pipeline right here, right now. And if I had to guess, or maybe I should say, not necessarily put money on it, but if I had to say what I would like to see, I would love to see, obviously, Gears of War 6 is first and foremost. Number 2 would be the Gears of War collection. And number 3 would be a Gears Tactics. I think that, Gears Tactics 2, I think that could be really cool. Or a spin-off of Gears of War, that being like focused around the Pendulum Wars, or, some of these other things that are really fascinating to me, like the research facilities and there's so much like just Gears of War history and lore. But I would love to see a Gears Tactics 2, to say the least. More Gears of War is on the way. Developer The Coalition has just shared information with its fans about the popular third-person cover-based shooter series. It looks like the team is shifting its focus to next-gen and developing multiple games in the Gears of War series using Unreal Engine 5. The Coalition has been quite busy as of late. The XCOM-like Gears Tactics launched, and the Coalition updated both that game and Gears 5 to the Xbox Series X, S, once that console launched. Additionally, the team launched its first major expansion, Gears 5 Hivebusters. But now that the new generation of console is here, the developer is looking to completely refocus Gears of War. So, according to a blog post from the Coalition, the team is currently developing multiple Gears of War games using Unreal Engine 5. Not only is this exciting because it proves that the games will likely look impressive, as the engine is one of the newer and more powerful in the industry, but it also reveals that the developer is working on multiple games from the franchise. Now, obviously, for me, and I just said this a little bit earlier, I really want the Coalition to be all hands on deck with Gears of War. And look, I'm okay with development teams working on other titles and things of that nature, but let me put it to you like this. The Coalition is one of, and I may be wrong on this, guys, but it seems like the Coalition are one of the only studios that Microsoft owns that are working on a lot of different titles. like, I'll give you an example. So Undead Labs, that is the development team that's working on the next upcoming State of Decay game, that being State of Decay 3. And they've been working on it for quite some time. I don't know if they're working on other titles. Maybe they are outside of State of Decay 3. But the Coalition sure seems to be, not only are they working on the next iteration of Gears of War, that being what we believe to be Gears 6, they're working on the Perfect Dark reboot, allegedly and reportedly. They're working on their own new IP altogether, reportedly. And now, obviously, they're also working on multiple Gears of War games. How much, how involved they are with that, that's a conversation for another time. But it's the fact that they're developing multiple Gears of War titles, and with Unreal Engine 5, it's absolutely awesome. But it's just one of those things that you start to kind of, when you start asking those questions about it, I start to get a little bit nervous when I start hearing that they're working on multiple things, that being the Coalition. It is important to note that there won't be any new announcements for some time, at least according to this blog post from the Coalition. Because the team is shifting to an entirely new engine, it will be quite the undertaking, so fans should not expect Gear 6 to be announced really anytime soon. So, obviously, guys, the updated versions of games like Gears 5 and Gears Tactics saw massive improvements on the Xbox Series X and S with things like 120 frames per second updates. However, players can expect a lot more with games being built from the ground up with next gen in mind, especially with engines that are also constructed with next gen technology, which is the case with Unreal Engine 5. It will be interesting to see what the multiple Gears titles are. While Gears 6 is seemingly inevitable, the other could be a mix of anything. Remakes of the classic Gears games are certainly in the cards, as are sequels to Gears Tactics and or entirely new spin-offs. So, exciting stuff, guys. I mean, look, this doesn't tell us a lot about Gears Tactics. This pretty much says, like, hey, Gears Tactics is something that very well could be coming out. Is it something that's going to come out? It's hard to say. I mean, look, I am a passionate fan of Gears of War as a whole, whether we're talking even Gears Pop. I mean, I thought that those were all like cool concepts. Gears Tactics, I thought, was some really cool concepts. Obviously, for me, the number one thing that I've said for a long time that I want to see is Gears of War 6 or Gear 6. That's number one and should be the top priority. And the Coalition should be only working on that, in my personal opinion. They should not be working on other titles, because what happens is they have to split up their team and they're kind of all over the place. So you're kind of like a master of nothing. You're just like you just got your hands in a bunch of different, bowls essentially, and a whole bunch of like different other projects. I mean, think of a team like, let's just say Infinity Ward, Treyarch, Sledgehammer, Raven. I mean, all of these companies from Activision, Blizzard, that work on Call of Duty. I mean, Infinity Ward, sure, they'll help out a little bit here and there with, different, points of Treyarch's new game. But for the most part, they are solely focused on Call of Duty. I mean, that's all they're focused on is their Call of Duty title. And if they're not working on their Call of Duty title, they're helping maybe slightly with, Treyarch's Call of Duty. What I'm getting at here, guys, is Call of Duty, one of the biggest titles in the world. I mean, you could say the best-selling game every single year that it comes out. They are solely focused on Call of Duty. That's their one thing, and that one thing is just a juggernaut. Gears of War has the potential to be something really special like that. Maybe Gears of War would never get as big as Call of Duty because it's an Xbox exclusive, and there's a number of things. It's a more graphic title. It's, third person. A lot of people like the first person. I mean, there's a number of reasons why it couldn't be. At the same time, could Gears of War be bigger than Halo? Could it be bigger than some of those titles out there, other Xbox exclusives? I think absolutely. It's one of the greatest and biggest, Xbox games of all time. But what I'm getting at is, if you just focus on that one thing, that being Gear 6 or Gears of War 6, let other development teams work on the other titles, like Gears Tactics 2, like, Gears Pop 2, or some of these other like spin-offs and things of that nature, the Gears of War collection. Let other teams do that. Work on that one thing that you can, just so that you can master it, essentially. Let People Can Fly do the Gears of War collection, because I think that they're more than capable of doing a remaster of 1, 2, 3, and Gears Judgment. And then, or even Epic Games. I mean, Epic Games, that would be a really interesting narrative, but I'm just saying, I feel like it's really important that the coalition works on that one thing. But I could be wrong, guys, and this is just one man's opinions and thoughts. I'd love to hear yours in the comment section down below. Do you think the coalition should have their hands in a number of projects or just focus on that one thing? Let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. And for more Gears 6 content and videos, stay here with Zero TV.